Alright, Shalom. I like to say, Call Lord Wah, which all praise and glory in Hebrew to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Karkadash, double us, the Apostle, El's great millstone, bless God, elect, if he says this, in his life, form, his awakeness, known as truth. My name is Kalamafi from GMS Cleveland, coming at you with another video. Right. And this is the results from the Strait of Hormuz being closed. You know, this war is still continuing going on. All right. And it looks like it's going to be no end in sight. And we are cheering for this because this is going to bring about the destruction of Babylon the Great. Okay. And, we don't want this to slow down. We want this to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And, so this can bring about, the rest of the prophecies, all right, that happen because there's a trickling effect with this, this war that's going on with Iran, Israel, and U.S., all right. It is transformed into something bigger, okay, than it just being, Iran and Israel going back and forth as usual. No, this has brought about, the end time prophecies, right? Which a major one is World War III. That's literally like the last prophecy. Our Lord said was going to come back in the midst of that. And, moves are just being made, you know what I'm saying? And the Heavenly Father is, controlling the minds of these world leaders, all right, to, go at each other and, so prophecy can come to pass and be fulfilled. Okay. And with this video, shout out to the brother, Eros Indignation, because this is a great watchtower, very edifying and groundbreaking news, you know what I'm saying? Video clips that come out, this brother posting, you know what I'm saying? This is a must-have watchtower. But anyway, going back to the topic at hand, Babylon the Great is suffering heavily from the Strait of Hormuz and the world period. You know what I'm saying? Of it being close. Majority of the world's oil goes through that passage. All right, and as a result of it, the after effect of it being closed, or the effect of it, shall I say, being closed, is affecting these countries' economies. All right, and these other nations, they're cutting ties with the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Because of it is not being open. All right, but anyway, I'm just gonna play this clip because it's going. Again, the clip is gonna do the heavy lifting for me. It's gonna do all the explaining, and I'm just gonna come with the scriptures. All right, okay.
The U.S. dollar has no value. It's not backed against gold or silver. What the U.S. has is the petrodollar. The U.S. worked out deals to make the U.S. dollar the international currency for oil trade across the globe. So if we are not trading oil in dollars, the U.S. has a major problem because our dollar has no value without the strength of the petrodollar. Our government would collapse if people stopped trading in USD with oil. So when Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, they made an alluding to that. They said, hey, if your oil and liquid natural gases are not being traded in USD, any other currency, especially the Chinese yuan, with the rise of BRICS, we'll let your ships through. They are actively trying to devalue the United States dollar because they understand that if oil is not being traded in USD, the US dollar is worth nothing because it's not backed against anything. This is also why we went into Venezuela. In case y'all didn't know, Maduro was going to start selling oil to China, but using the yuan. He was going to stop using USD. And that's when the decision was made very quickly, go in and take him out of power and try to get American oil companies to Venezuela to take over oil extraction and processing there to keep it in USD. Because if we start losing those trades using the US dollar, we lose value of our dollar, which will cause an economic collapse or at least a massive recession. So now Trump is panicking and demanding that other countries send military aid to the Strait of Hormuz to make sure we can open it up and get it all open. And but we also already destroyed their military, so you guys, don't have to worry. We've already taken out their whole everything. But they might have put mines, so we just need you guys to come and help us out. Why can't y'all handle that? Why do you need other countries to handle that? No, you know that if other countries start to go into an energy crisis because oil isn't moving, if they have to buy oil in a different currency, they will, just to get the oil to their country. And I think this is why Trump wants other countries to get involved to try to keep the stat.
Oh, damn.
The US dollar has no value. It's not backed against gold or silver. What the US has is the petrol.
What was that?
But if the US dollar loses value, we have to pay even more in interest, especially with the cost of this war. How much when the decision was made very quickly go in and take him out of power and try to get American oil companies to Venezuela to take over oil extraction and processing there to keep it in USD. Because if we start losing those trades using the US dollar, we lose value of our dollar, which would cause an economic collapse or at least a massive recession. So now Trump is panicking and demanding that other countries send military aid to the Strait of Hormuz to make sure we can open it up and get it all open. And but we also already destroyed their military, so you guys, don't have to worry. We've already taken out their whole everything. But they might have put mines, so we just need you guys to come and help us out. Why can't y'all handle that? Why do you need other countries to handle that?
Oh yeah, just to bring this up before it slipped my mind. The whistleblower John Todd, he talked about this. If I'm not mistaken, he said that a global energy crisis would be the cause of World War III. And I was trying to find that video, and I think they erased it, man. I think they erased it. Oh, man. It's cool. We know the prophecies, though, but it was just to validate. It's just to validate, things.
No, you know that if other countries start to go into an energy crisis because oil isn't moving, if they have to buy oil in a different currency, they will, just to get the oil to their country. And I think this is why Trump wants other countries to get involved to try to keep the status quo. But a lot of the countries are saying absolutely not. We are not going to get involved, even if they don't realize it's about the petrodollar, but they will not get involved as of now. This is really concerning. And this is sad also that Iran is playing a really smart game that Trump and his team had no idea they would play. I do think people were aware that Iran had these cards to play, but somehow it eluded Trump and his whole entire team. But this is a major concern for the longevity of the United States, especially with the cost of this war, how much money we're spending on this war, especially when you hear that we've been borrowing $50 billion a week for the last 5 months. That means we're gonna have to pay that money back, or we're gonna have to pay back the interest. It's all of a mess. So much money is just being thrown around by the US. We're just hemorrhaging money everywhere. But if the US dollar loses value, we have to pay even more in interest. Not just us as consumers, but the government itself. That means our dollar, that $1 trillion of debt, would suddenly get higher because the $1 trillion USD doesn't matter anymore because it will be so devalued. So this is a major issue, and I don't know if it can be resolved. Iran has made it clear this is on their terms. And, the more Trump keeps talking about, the Strait of Hormuz is open, it's not. Some ships have already tried to go through and got blown up when you said it was safe. So now nobody wants to move. And insurance companies are not insuring those boats. So you have to wait for the insurance companies to insure the boats before people are going to want to move their boats. And now we also have a problem of oil production has been shut down in a lot of these Gulf countries and Middle Eastern countries because they have nowhere to put it because boats aren't moving. And it takes weeks to months to get those processes back running again once you turn them off. So I don't think Trump ever had a plan to mitigate this, let alone knew what he was doing or what Iran was capable of. But I do think they're starting to realize with this move, this is just a statement, whether Iran's actually doing it or not, if you're trading in anything but USD, other than that, you can go through. I think they're starting to realize what the game is, what Iran is trying to do. And Iran could very, very, very easily be successful in devaluing the US dollar since it's backed in nothing.
New geopolitical flashpoint may be emerging in global energy markets as Iran considers allowing a limited number of oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, but only under a new condition. According to a senior Iranian official cited by CNN, Tehran may permit tanker traffic if oil shipments are traded in Chinese yuan instead of the US dollar. The move comes as Iran works on a new plan to regulate tanker flows through the strait, one of the world's most vital energy corridors. The Strait of Hormuz handles nearly 20% of global oil shipments and has been effectively closed since the outbreak of hostilities involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. The disruption has rattled global markets and pushed oil prices sharply higher. Tehran blocked tanker passage shortly after the war began, triggering fears of a major supply crunch in global energy markets. According to the Iranian official, the proposed yuan payment condition would mark a major shift in global oil trade, which is traditionally conducted almost entirely in US dollars. Only a few exceptions exist, including Russian oil exports, which have increasingly been traded in rubles or yuan due to Western sanctions following the war in Ukraine. China has been pushing to expand the use of its currency in international energy trade. Beijing has encouraged oil exporters, including Saudi Arabia, to accept yuan payments. However, the dollar remains the dominant global reserve currency, and the yuan is still not widely used across international commodity markets. The disruption in oil supplies has already forced the United States to partially ease sanctions on Russia's oil sector in an effort to stabilize global markets. Higher prices have delivered a financial boost to Moscow, providing additional revenue that analysts say could be channeled into military spending and the war in Ukraine. Meanwhile, China has urged restraint. At a press briefing in Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun said, "The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial route for global energy trade," and called on all parties to de-escalate.
The Strait of Hormuz and waters nearby are an important route for international goods and energy trade. Keeping the region safe and stable serves the common interests of the international community. China urges parties to stop the military operations at once, avoid further escalation, and prevent the regional turmoil from having a larger impact on global economic growth.
The closure of the waterway has hit China particularly hard, as the country imports more than 40% of its oil, around 4.9 million barrels per day, from the Middle East.
The US dollar has no value. It's not backed against gold or silver. What the US has is the petrodollar. The US worked out deals to make the US...
That's it. That's the video. All right. That is the video. Yeah, so Iran, they just delivered a very devastating blow to U.S. by pulling that off, man. Okay, they said, as y'all saw in the video clip, that the only countries that can come through the Strait of Hormuz, all right, with their oil, is the countries that are willing to trade their oil in, and buy it, and trade their currency and buy it through the yuan, the Chinese currency. So that was crucial right there, man. That was very crucial, and affecting, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. All right. That was a very chessmate like move to do. You know what I'm saying? Cause now, you know, since now the countries that are going to do that, they're going to leave out the U.S. All right. They're going to leave out the U.S. dollar, which the only thing that the U.S. dollar was backed up by, or is backed up by, is oil. You know, countries trading their currency in, all right, through the U.S. dollar. It's like, if I'm saying that right, or trading their oil in, buying it through the U.S. with the U.S. dollar is what I'm yeah, trading their currency in for the U.S. dollar to buy it. So now that they're not going to do it, this is forcing the now that Iran is forcing these countries to do that, the U.S. economy will suffer and it loses status as a superpower, man. All right, it will lose its status as a superpower. The global dominance of Babylon the Great, aka America, will be lost. Okay, these countries that neglect the U.S. dollar, all right, America will no longer be top dog. Okay, all right, over these nations, and China think they got to rule next. That's out of the question. The nation of Israel, all right, is about to rule next. And when I say rule the nation of Israel, I'm talking about the men. You fucking women are gonna get in your place. And the men need a black woman, man. A black woman God, I'm so tired of that whole man. But I ain't gonna drift off to another subject. Sticking on this. All right. This right here is going to reshape things in such a matter that this is really gonna speed up. All right. The crashing of the whole economy of the U.S. and this is going to reel in a new monetary system. This is the Great Reset that economic experts were speaking about, and this is going to be the loophole. All right, on how they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna use this war to crash the dollar. Okay, and this is a perfect way, or a sneaky way to do it. All right. So much has been unrevealed, you know what I'm saying, through this war with Iran and the U.S. or in Israel, right? You can kind of see how things, the way they're being played out, like what it's going to lead to. All right, so yeah, man. Yeah, these are the consequences, man. And like I said, brother's happy. The world's sad, but the brother's happy. All right, but yeah, going back to the yuan. You had to, these others had to trade their currency into the yuan in order to buy, or order to the oil, man. They get the oil. All right. So let me get this so I can. I'm rambling too much because I had some stuff pulled out so I could. So I did this right. I typed in Google. I was like, that ain't it. This is it right here. I started typing Google. I said, what do countries use oil for? So AI says country primarily use oil as a high versatile non-renewable energy source and chemical feedstock, who roughly 2/3 dedicate to transportation beyond fueling cars, ships, planes. Is refined to lubricants, asphalt, petrochemicals for manufacturing plastics, synthetic materials, pharmaceuticals, and household products. Primary use of oils is transportation, 50 to 7%. The vast majority refined into gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Petroleum chemical feedstocks used to create plastic, synthetic rubber, fertilizer, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, detergents, synthetic fibers, polyester, heating, and electricity. Fuel oil, propane are used to heat homes and buildings for power generation. Industries and infrastructure, lubricants and materials. Yes, I was like, I mainly got the meat off that. Okay, so oil. This oil, these countries use, all right, and use it for a lot of machinery. Okay, and the majority use of the oil is transportation, as you can see, 50%. That's the vast majority. All right, oil, and everything is brought through or brought in these cities, especially America, is through transportation, through the fucking plane, whether it be a plane, a train, or trucks. So if this merchandise is not being transported to the designated locations, these grocery stores, these factories, and so on and so forth, that nothing gets done. Okay, the whole market shuts down, and as you can see, that's what's about to occur. Okay, it is such a domino effect. All right, it's such a domino effect that comes out of this. All right, and then it said fertilizer. Fertilizer is key. Okay, fertilizer is key. Matter of fact, I shouldn't have posted a video. I don't know. I might still post a video, but anyway, I watched the video on the fertilizer and shit. That's the oil I ain't watched enough of the video to break it down, but shit, man, I might do a second. I'm gonna do a part 2, or I'm gonna do a video on it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a video on it. Okay, separate from this. But that oils you use to help bring out certain not elements, but fuck, I'm just gonna go and do a separate video from it. But it's definitely used to make that fertilizer, man. All right, and get these crops to grow. So that's a famine, man. Like a famine right there. All right. So yeah, we looking at a combination of damage due to Babylon the Great in the world period, especially Babylon though. All right. So this place is really fucked. Let me see. I'm gonna get straight to it. Let me get these scriptures. I'm gonna close out on that. Let me see. So I'm gonna start with this one. Jeremiah 15:23 says, "How is the whole armor of the earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" And we can see how it's become a desolation of the nations because the small hats have dragged the U.S. into this war. Okay, and a lot of the problems of the U.S. is caused by the small hats, man. All right, and that's how this bitch is broken. Okay. That's how and then the other nations, they really just hate America, but due to the fact that, they have profit or got help from the U.S., okay? That's the only reason why it's cool with this place. Other than that, they don't like it, okay? They ate that bread, right? And remember, America is the hammer of the whole earth. I believe Trump had some type of operation called the hammer or some shit. I'm not gonna look for it, but just look it up. So this place is broken. This is talking about America now. It is used. It was bullying all these other nations. It was a bullying block of all these other nations. Now it ain't. It beat down all these other nations, man. That didn't succumb to their demands, right? But that shit's over with now. This is Psalm 16:8. This is a primary scripture I want to get. It says, "Moab is my washpot. Over even where I cast out my shoe." So Moab is the Lord's washpot, and with a washpot you use to clean dishes, right? Okay. And I did this to AI, right? I typed in because if y'all watch the video, know the Apostle El's breakdown, right? Where is it? Oh, yeah, I got it in there. But yeah, Moab is definitely the Most High is using. In other words, the Most High, when it said Moab's my washpot, is the Most High was going to use. That's why I said after that verse, right? Or after that, when it says Moab's my washpot, over you I cast on my shoe. So, in other words, the Most High was going to use the Moabites to clean out America, mainly financially, okay? Because all nations are, it ain't just Moab or the Chinese is going to destroy this place. All nations are going to destroy this place. But the Most High was going to use the Moabites or the Chinese to clean out America financially. And that's why you have everything made in China, okay? You have everything, if you look at the manufacturing, China, it produces majority of the items that are here in the U.S. That's why you have U.S. items and they say produced in China. Then everything that's made in this electronics, household items and dressers, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of items in America, majority of them are produced in China, made in China. Okay. And now that China has pulled this move, right, with the yuan, nations can no longer, they want to get make their money from the oil, or get oil, right? They can no longer do it through the U.S. dollar. They have to go through the yuan. So America is being wiped out or cleaned out by the Chinese financially. All right. Oh, and especially with moves like this, the petrodollar only backing of it was, or the U.S. dollar only backing up of it was oil. Now that's about to be no longer the case. The what you call it, man? It's like the effects of that is going to be catastrophic. And just even when I cast on my shoe, so I looked that part up, right? Where's that shit? So I typed in, it says songs 1680. It says more is my watch power over you when I cast on my shoe. This verse symbolically suggests language, which I'm not using this AI to for the breakdown of the scripture. The apostles already broke this down, and the apostles, they basically AI is getting their breakdown from the apostles. That's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. But AI was right. It was right. All right. But which they got their breakdown from the apostles first. But they just to show you that just validating things. It says this verse symbolically language to describe God's sovereignty, indicating that Moab will become a humble to a mineral servant like status. All right, so yeah, and that's why when you look at the Chinese and Moabites, they do take that role. All right, bro's already going to like the when a nigga woman she get her feet done and all stuff like that. The massage spots, you know what I'm saying? They take a servant's type status role. In other words, what was that? It says context meaning Moab is my watchpot refers to a vessel for low mineral service. It indicates a subjugation of Moab to David, which that's correct too. Over Edom while I cast out my shoe, a symbolic gesture of taking possession of a land or triumphing over a foe. Now it's key right there. It said or triumphing over a foe. Similar to putting a foot on a neck. That's key right there. So what did I say? That the Most High was going to use the Moabites to help take down Babylon the Great. Okay? And it's doing it by way economically. All right? And what is the Most High using? It says, or triumphing over a foe. The foe is Edom. So the Lord is using Moabites to take down Edom. Okay? So if you ever wonder what that cast on my shoe verse Paul was talking about, where else I was at? Was that it? Oh yeah, this is the last verse, man. The last verse. Jeremiah 51:7 says, but Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, so the nations, all right, like I said, they don't even want to do business with America no more, especially with they're getting bombed over there, and, by Iranians because they got some type of dealings with the U.S. Iran's bombing them. All right, Iran is bombing them, and then the Chinese is going to cut better deals with these other nations as far as business wise. All right, then America, then they're going to screw them over like the U.S. has done, put them in debt and just do all that fuck shit. All right, so Babylon the Great is definitely being cut off. All right, Babylon sudden fallen, and destroyed out for her. Take bond for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us Go everyone to his own country, for our judgment is reaching up to heaven and of the skies. And other nations are going back to their countries, because the cost of living here is ridiculous, and they see the economy is plummeting, and it's no longer worth being here. All right, it's actually better to be in their other countries than they actually live better in their own countries, man. Okay, this was straight about business and propping up their economy when they came here, but that ain't even the opportunity no more. So yeah, man. That move that Iran made, that move that let Iran and they allowed the Moabites to make, man. As far as the oil, y'all saw the videos. It's over, man, for this place. And on the World Economic Magazine, 2026, which is 2026, this is the year of a expiration year of an empire, which the empire lasts no longer than 250 years. This is a 250 year. We're officially in 250 year of Babylon Great, or an expiring empire. All right, so this Lord willing is the year, and keep watching, and just remember what's going on. Like the status, all right, or the U.S. dollar is being attacked, all right, with this move that Iran has made. So yeah, man, keep your eyes peeled and keep watching. But then I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Yahweh, Shalom, Shalom, Pastor Ellis Great Mission. Best go with that. Few sisters, Shalom.